Opinion Tower of Babel languages are no longer impenetrable silos that divide people. Commend the recent decision of the CBSE to make instruction in the local language, mostly the mother tongue, mandatory at the primary level. The board has directed all affiliated schools to begin mapping students' mother tongues at the earliest and realign instructional materials accordingly before the end of the summer break. The issue of medium of instruction in education continues to seize the imagination of students, teachers, parents, and educationists. It is a matter fraught with political connotations. The recurrent bouts of Hindi hatred that grip parts of the country from time to time are stark reminders that the country remains ill at ease on the issue of language. Changing economic realities have only morphed the issue over time, instead of eradicating it. The National Educational Policy NEP 2020 identifies issues and analyses various schemes that have been operating so far. Rather vaguely, it says that the three-language formula will continue to be implemented while keeping in mind the constitutional provisions, aspirations of the people, regions, and the Union, and the need to promote multilingualism as well as promote national unity. In this laundry list of irreconcilables, one wonders what purpose did the sentence serve, if any. Any policy document, including the NEP, places a burden of intellectual and methodological clarity on the authors, for the government is expected to heed to their counsel. If the government is unable to coherently respond to the issue at hand, a large part of the blame lies on those passing off avoidance as advice. India does not have a national language, and rightly so. A polyglot country like ours does not need one. A European-style nation-state requires a certain ethnic and linguistic homogeneity to function. A civilizational state like ours is bound together with shared practices, worldviews, and philosophical approaches to our place as individuals within the society and of our nation in the world, instead of just language. Telugu signboards in Ayodhya and Sri Venkateshvara being worshipped in Uttarakhand are not contradictions of any kind. It's simply how our civilization works, and it is through a healthy appreciation of diversity that a sense of kinship and bonding is established. Our Constitution recognizes 22 official languages, and some combination of these is used by the Union and state governments in their work. The constitutionally mandated dictum of installing Hindi as the sole official language for the Union is a dead letter. Likewise, demanding some sacred enshrinement to any language is absurd. Let it be abundantly clear, linguistic chauvinism has gone hand in hand with separatism in this country, and it is not surprising that issues surrounding language crop up whenever national security has been under threat. Indeed, the evolution of linguistic supremacists in India count in their august lineage the Pakistan movement and its fascination with Urdu, the Dravidians of Tamil Nadu who were out-and-out separatists and committed genocide on Brahmins, and the murderous insurgents of Assam and Meghalaya who ethnically cleansed Bengali populations. Under the guise of self-respect, the agenda to soft balkanize India was given wind. Alloyed with linguistic demands are other destructive ideas such as India being labeled a federation, by a repeated regurgitation of India being a union of states. Never mind Ambedkar's clear and unambiguous utterances on India not being a federation in any true sense. The federation is a union because it is indestructible. Although the country and the people may be divided into different states for convenience of administration, the country is one integral whole, its people a single people living under a single imperium derived from a single source. The subservience to the single source, i.e., the Sanatani substratum animating Bharat's sense of self beyond the gilded asylums of anti-India enclaves dotting our metro cities, and the single imperium derived therefrom, i.e., Bharat, overrides all other considerations. As Himanta Biswa Sarma aptly articulated, it is only the civilization which gives any meaning, and space to operate, to the constitution. Civilization first, constitution follows. Linguistic subversiveness cannot be tolerated. The single most important objective for India, if one takes a higher level view, is to build on its economic growth and solve the jobs crisis. Whether it is our physical safety, in the form of military deterrence, or to ensure a comfortable standard of living for all our denizens, the economic rise of the country is a sine qua non. The logic of how we approach our linguistic diversity needs to be rescued from the clutches of fanatical, ideologically obsessed experts and soft secessionists, and be viewed pragmatically from the lens of economic, and underlying civilizational, utility. As India strives to ascend in the comedy of nations, it is clear that our huge numbers of children and young adults of school and college-going age should be optimally advantaged in order that they are able to cope and compete within their state, country, and internationally. The entire issue of language should be moved from the emotional to the pragmatic. Language is a matter of utility, communicability, and practicality. Our educational policies should be framed accordingly, and the Central Board of Secondary Education CBSE has made the right move at the right time. This leveraging is most effectively done linguistically. A child should be taught basic concepts in the language in which he or she can best emote and can give free rein to imagination. More so, each language is closely intertwined with the land, its people, their culture, and their myriad thought patterns, which have to be developed for intellectual diversity and leveraged by the nation at large. The NEP discreetly speaks of home language, mother tongue, local language, regional language. Let us not forget that for the vast majority, all these languages are one and the same. It is important that our young people are equipped to excel in imaginative skills because it is such skills that are sorely lacking in our outmoded rote learning method of education today. Accordingly, There can be no doubt that education in the foundational stage, as defined in NEP, namely ages 3 to 8, must be in the local language with no exception. By no exception, we mean no exception. Don't speak about children of transferable central government employees. They are a minuscule minority for which a special solution can be worked out. The minority should not dictate to the majority who belong to the state, were born in the state and will live in their state for most of their lives. Ideally, education in the local language should also continue into the preparatory 811, middle 1114 and secondary 1418 stages with other languages. The CBSE's recent decision to implement education in the mother tongue must be lauded in this regard. There is little doubt that the imaginative skill of an individual is enhanced if basic education is imparted in the mother tongue. The first language is the language of the land, and is the language of thought. The second language, a civilizational language, again without any exception, has to be Sanskrit. India's civilizational ethos cannot be compromised any longer, and the children of Bharat deserve to draw on the vast knowledge of their ancestors, and put an end to the pretense that we are simply brown sahebs. No arguments of minorityism or ethnic origin can override this imperative. This will be the fulcrum of true national integration, for this not only connects languages, but connects a citizen with his civilizational continuity, and his indigenous systems of knowledge and governance, ushering in decolonization in a true sense. The language can be appropriately introduced as the civilizational language everywhere at the preparatory stage age 8. English is our pathway to the world. It is also a sort of link language within the country, although Hindi is fast replacing it in this regard. English should be deromanticized, and approached as a technical language. Technical and professional, instead of literary proficiency, should be the goal. The language has to be approached merely as an instrument, which will not only contribute to decolonization without loss of a global outlook, but improve standards where they matter the most. English is still essential, however, and increased felicity in this wonderful international language needs to be developed in order that we can compete aggressively in the metropolitan and international arenas. It can and should come in as the technical language everywhere at the middle stage age 11. In short, our so-called three-language formula, and similar formulaic prescriptions may be gently allowed to lapse. They were useful in the interim but will hardly be so in the long run. Swipe left for next video. The need for a formal link language is, however, not as acute as it was in say 1950 when linguistic groups were sharply demarcated. Television, movies, and social media, and also the migration of people across the country have ensured that many residents in urban and semi-urban areas have some sort of working knowledge of both English and Hindi. People from outside a state also seem to be readily picking up the local language even when it is quite distinct from their mother tongue, due to purely economic reasons. One hears a lot more Hindi in Chennai and Bengaluru today than one did 10 years ago. At the same time, one hears North Indians in the southern states speaking the local language in shops and restaurants. Languages are no longer impenetrable silos that divide people. Languages unite, and the pursuit of prosperity unites even further. Gautam Desirayu is in the IISC, Bengaluru, and UPES, Dehradun Dikit Bhattacharya is in Luthra Law Offices, Delhi. The views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely those of the author. They do not necessarily reflect News 18's views. Latest blogs.